Hey everyone, I hope you are all well, all well, all well, all well. Been an interesting morning today, I must say. Had another call with Inga, our Nez, which is on my playlist, a beautiful soul, and we do an awful lot of grid work together. And we had our second event today that I want to talk to you about, and the upgrade of the grid work of the earth from a higher perspective of working, from a celestial perspective, okay, a grid worker perspective. So this is all about the back end of what's going on Earth at the moment. That will then have a shift within humanity, is that we sit here and say, well, what's changing? What's changing? There's an awful lot of energetic work that a lot of light workers, grid workers that are doing behind the scenes that we may not be aware of. So I'm going to show you what happened today with my little whiteboard about the shift in reality from the Mother, Father, God spark within and the child of creation, which is the third eye edition. So that video that I did the other day was the first part of the grid work, and then we sat down today and did some more. And it was shown in these chaotic chaotic sort of balls of light that were around Gaia that were sort of whizzing hither and everywhere. So they was unstable, basically. So these are sort of like visions that I would get within my mind and a different person's perspective. So Inga working with me, we then could see from different perspective what is actually happening, what's been shown to us, what codes are coming in to anchor this in. If you're new to my channel, thank you for joining me. All of these sort of like information is coming in from my perspective, igniting my own inner wisdom through light codes. And if you started your light code journey and want to know a little bit more about it and you're quite uncertain, check all the links below. That goes into my Udemy courses. So I have an activation to understanding light codes and remembering the journey, the ascension journey as well. So there are 3 courses on there. And check in also with nicolalight.com if you want to work with me individually. The subject then is strengthening of the energetic field. That okay, yeah. So we're going to draw a Earth. No, it doesn't matter if you're a flat earther or if you're a globalist. It really doesn't matter. It's the perspective of what's going on within the reality. It's all different dimensions. It's all different perspectives. It's all the same. It's the same but different. Yeah, but we're going to sort of zoom it out into the universal system. So we have Gaia. And within Gaia, there are these sort of structures of lines that interweave across the planet, and it sort of moves, and it's all these sort of grids that are running through, obviously not to scale within the system, but there are these sort of points of connection of nodal points. Okay, so upon the grid, you've got the countries, you've got the sea, you've got the whole sort of system, and it's interlinked with an entwinement of energy, just like ourselves with having meridian lines and chakra systems. So these are like these chakra systems that sort of set upon the earth, and the little nodal points that sustain the energy of Gaia. So we have the original template, which is the original template, and then we also have a distorted overlay of energy that sort of sits around the grid and sometimes stops the light to be shown because there's this sort of there we go. There's this sort of distortion and pockets of energy that distort the original. So we have the original that sits underneath the distorted illusion. Excuse me. And I've done a video on that, so I've got a bit of throat going. So there is a video playlist that I did about grid work. So have a little check on that, and check out all my other whiteboard teachings, especially the latest ones, not the earlier ones. It's sort of like a precursor to my wisdom ignition. But so we got the illusionary field that sort of sits here, and then we have the original. Okay, da. Eller makianta asimakiatan. Abasumakiatan o karabakianta asamakiatan asgakiatan. Okay, let us look then at what was happening. So we have this Gaia system that's running beautifully, and then the old system. And remember, actually, a little while back, just to mention that there was this sort of shift that went on with distortion that was anchored into the lower earth. Just to remind you of that for those that have been following me. So all of this breaking down of the system took out these sort of columns of darkness that was anchoring it into the underworld. So there wasn't anywhere for this shift of energy to anchor into the lower realms. Okay. I'm not going to go back into detail, but just be aware that underneath all of this was like a network that run under like a sandwich. Okay, so we have the original template here, then we had an anchorage of the top layer of distortion that was anchored in with these sort of columns of dark that fortified the connection, so it almost sandwiched the original template, the original heaven on earth. This was all taken down in a gridwork system, interaction with light coding, anchored it down through the conduit of light workers, and then that was then dismantled. Now we've moved and dismantled the under, which was the stabilization for the top layer, we was then able now to shift within our conduits, which is the first of the balance of masculine and feminine energy, and then the anchoring of the light within, to enable us to bring forward these codes to the intensity that we needed of the bandwidth to enable us to do the work. So Inga and I then set about to come together and do the work. Now, Inga had some visions through the night, couldn't sleep, and then she said, Nicola, we need our second call before the 19th, 18th, 19th of May. And what I was getting within my mind's eye was these sort of balls of chaos that sort of sat around the Earth system all over the place around here, and Inga was seeing the same things, but they were very chaotic in where they were placed, so they were all over the earth. And if you could imagine sort of like circles with blending in with circles, and they were all sort of like chaotic around, so they were coming in and they were being attracted to Gaia because of her rise was enabling the attraction of these balls of light. And what our mission today was to anchor these into a placement, a settling, just like the anchoring of the distortion. We're sandwiching the distortion, the illusionary field. So rather than the sandwich of the illusion, okay, let me just show you. So rather than having the sandwich of Gaia, and then the illusion anchored into the illusion, we flipped it, and we've got the light anchoring into Gaia, and then we're anchoring it down lower here. So we're moving the energy and replacing and sandwiching the illusion. We're sandwiching the illusion rather than sandwiching the Gaia, if that makes sense. I do hope that makes sense. So with all of that now reinstated within the system, these balls of light have now anchored in strongly into the nodal points of where they need to be. So they've been configured by galactic forces to stabilize the system, and each one of these stabilizations within the nodal points are anchored into a star system in the celestial realms. So basically, the star systems and now anchoring into Gaia to assist the rise as she reconnects to the universe. And this then has expanded the universe. So the universe has now experienced an upgrade itself. So the universe has upgraded, okay? But from our position, we see it that we're upgrading with it because we are the child upon earth. So Gaia is mother and we are her children. And where she is being balanced with her masculine feminine energy, anchoring in the structure of masculine, then the children can rise into adulthood. And as they become adults, the children, the carekeepers of the land, which is humanity, will then support her in her eyes. So we are caretakers of the earth, we are children of Gaia, and we are made up of her elements in form to assist the animals, the kingdom of plant life, take care of Gaia rather than destroy Gaia, for all the distortion that goes on, which we're not going to go into. So I wanted to sort of come in and just sort of let you know that, there's an awful lot of energy work that is being done from a higher perspective of understanding, from a broader. It's not hierarchy, but it's taken it to the celestial connection. Okay, so let me just bring some light codes in to assist. So this is all done from mind. This is from my mind experience stuff. Alakia, Bamabosa Bakianta da Alabissa Bakianta, Alakianta da Alabissuma Koshumakiatene e, Bankarabadi Bisimakiata na Masibakiata na Asibakiata to Orshumakiata da. So just really tap into these codes because it will allow you to remember within, okay, ignite your wisdom. Da. Elamakianta da Alamisibakianta da Asimakiatan a, Kiant or Karabadi Bisimakiata na a, Mokoshumakiata na Masibakiatan. As a result of all of these systems being placed within the Earth system and upon the Earth system, we are now able to support Gaia in the rise from a planetary system. And the carekeepers of the universe are the galactic forces of light. The movement of all of this will transcend and flip the coin, the transition of the illusion into the light. But with this, there will be a tsunami of energy that will affect the many in the awakening process, for many will start to see the illusion. Because we've sandwiched the illusion rather than the illusion sandwiching Gaia, the illusionary field will start to be seen by many. So the balancing of the masculine and feminine energy within many of us as we rise from a conscious perspective are coming into alignment with those that are not aware. When we become aware of the illusion, we start to see. But because they're switching on more instantly, it's going to create a lot of chaos, which we see that's going on already. But there'll be many people that will stand up and say no to the system. And I've experienced this recently with a deconstruction of something that I'm not going to go into detail with. But it's just distorted. And to see the illusion of it is then creating anger within us to say this is not right, this system is not right, it's only for the elite that actually get out of the system rather than for the people. So there's going to be a big uprise of energy in many people from a place of singularity and within collectives of those that join forces. So there's going to be an awful lot of upheaval within the system. But us as light workers, we need to hold the light. We need to see the chaos that is going to move through the illusionary field to deconstruct it, to literally deconstruct, but we must build and focus on the new. So many of us are here to be of assistance, and we do our job and we do it well. And it is something that we're moving into. So the unawakened are going to come on quite sharp, but that will create a big force of upsurge of anger and many of you empaths might actually pick up on that energy. So I advise you and just suggest, just a hand out here, is just hold firm within your own light. Be sovereign, move the energy through you. If it is collective energy, just be aware of it and move it through as quickly as possible. Don't identify with any of it, because when you do, then you start to magnetize it to you as an experience, as we're creator beings. So we're in this sort of point of pivotal change, and the movement of all of this energy that is working in the esoteric realms is going to start to land in full force and even more intensify the energetic field. As we embrace the light, we sandwich the illusion, we dissolve the illusion, and then with an esoteric shove and a push and a moving out of the system, there will be many that will leave the planet. So however then that plays out to be, it is the experience of the shift. And the shift will come and the shift will go, and the shift will bring in a beautiful new beginning for Gaia and all that are residing the children upon the earth. But just put on your belts and braces. Just have those pure intentions of focusing on in the light. Remember who you are as you assist those that are starting to spark and ignite all of that, that they start to see, that they will come to you and they will ask you questions because they maybe have judged you from the past, that they will look to you and hold your hand on your heart and have compassion for them, for they do not see. They are children, okay? They are children, so treat them as such, in not of hierarchy, but that of compassion, and see them from a high perspective of love to enable them to see all of the distortion that once they were unaware of. It's the awareness that is now starting to shift. And from an energetic perspective, it is locked into the system. And as we then continue to do the work upon the land, more and more will shift of the illusionary sandwich of energy that starts to lift, to lift, to lift. But it will be a matter of time, because we're working in time-space. And the movement of the time-space will also become such an illusion to our understanding, inner standing of light. Da. There's so much more that goes on that we don't even have an awareness of. Just know it's just walking through the process. Okay, I do hope that this has settled the mind in knowing that there's so much more work that is going on behind the scenes, and our galactic forces are assisting, the planetary system is assisting, and we are children of Gaia. So whatever happens with Gaia, it happens with us also, as above, so below, as within, as without. Okay, so focus on yourself. Focus on yourself, because you are your own universe. Okay, take care, everyone. Do comment below. Let me know how that is for you. Just be aware that we do not go into fear. This is my perspective. This is my honouring of experience of truth. So take what resonates, leave the rest. Sending so much love to you all. Okay, take care, everyone. See you all soon. Bye.